Scene with Dean, episode 22. 20. I lose track of the shows. But today I have a group of guys here from the Riding Solo Car Club. God damn it.
It's all good.
Riding Solo Car Club.
Some of us are slow.
Yes.
Only on Tuesday.
And that would be me.
I'll take credit for that one.
So today I have Nick Clavari.
Claver.
God damn it. Claver.
This
This will be an easy one. Joe Lane.
Yeah, that's me.
And Pugsley.
Pugsley.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Wayne.
Yes, and Greg and Wayne from the Hood Rats. Greg, thank you very much for setting this up.
No problem.
I really appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
Wayne, thanks for coming by.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the free beer.
Always good to see you guys.
Wayne's doing
We
what he
love
does
you, Wayne.
best.
We'll put that
Big
on your
Wayne.
tab, Wayne.
Let it ride.
How come he gets a tab?
So, yeah, right.
He's a frequent flyer, I'm sure.
right. So I'm going to start off. Nick,
Yes, sir.
tell me a little bit about yourself. What is your position in the club? What are you?
He's doggy style.
Besides that, should I start it out with Joe? Does it
It
matter?
depends on how far back you want to go with the history of the club. But if you just want to start out like the recent startup of the club,
Yes.
I moved back from Alabama. It was like 9 years ago now, or something like that. And then me and Pugsley have been friends forever. And he was in another car club, which I won't mention, but he was in that club, and then he kind of pulled me into that one, and things didn't really work out. So he's
Yeah,
like,
our egos and their egos didn't match.
Okay.
no. So Pugsley like, hey man, what do you think about starting RSL back up again?
Mhm.
Because back in the day, you know, it was a strong club. I'm like, all right, let's go for it. Let's give it a try. And I said, you know, if we're gonna do it, let's, you know, go balls deep. You know, go for it.
What year
So we
was
did.
this?
This was 2016
Wow.
Yeah.
when we started back up,
Yeah.
and man, the rest is history. It's
So-
just been a heck of a ride.
So you say you started it back up.
Yes.
This was a club before?
In the
Yes.
early 90s.
Oh, it went away and then it came
2000s.
back. Okay.
Yeah, there
Started
was
off-
the OG of OG clubs was RSL, and there was a bunch of other stuff. Well, I'm saying not OG of OG, but like the stuff from Gratiot type of deal.
Right.
Like our area.
Okay.
If you want to go back to how it all started, it was Friends in Low Places
Yes.
a long time ago.
Okay.
That club grew and grew and grew, and there was probably 50, 60 members in that club at the time. And there was a fallout, and the club split,
Mm.
and it went Friends in Low Places, and then they formed Two Low Extremes.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Shout out to Chris Best. Too low stream.
Too low.
and I guess Friends in Low Places finally died out, and Two Low built up, and he got up to 30, 40 members or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then there's another fallout, and it split again,
Wow.
which was Two Low, and then we formed RSL,
Okay.
and then Two Low faded out, sort of. They still say they're still out there, but
There's still cars with too low on them.
I have not yet seen them on the street in
No.
20 years.
I mean, Righty's car is the only one I think that still might have it on there. That's been sitting in a barn for years, but
Yeah, the Bonneville, the 64
yeah,
Bonneville?
65 Bonneville.
64.
Was it 64?
Yeah.
Had airbags on it, had hydraulics on it, put airbags back on it.
Right. So we had RSL after the merge, the split, and one of the Chris Best was actually president of the club for a while, and then somehow members started leaving, and there was trying to think who was in command at the time. I know Chris was, and then Chris kind of basically passed it down to me when he kind of left.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I was almost basically like last man standing. So
Oh,
he kind
yeah.
of earned the right. So I moved out of state, and everybody started growing. Before I moved out of state, everybody started getting older and felt like, we don't have time for the car.
And the scene was kind of fading at that time.
It was.
That's when we all got shut down. We weren't allowed to cruise no more, and
Right.
Woodward wasn't what Woodward is now. It was just it was like a whole scene fade.
Mm-hmm.
Too.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was dormant for a while, and then me and Pugs built it back up. So it started off as me and Pugs, and then we brought in a couple other members, and we lost a couple members, and then, we gained some other ones. There's, some other really good people in the club.
Yeah.
And then this guy here, Joe Lane, he popped in one night up at Harper Cruise.
Yeah, it was like a ray of sunshine.
It literally was, man. I looked over, I'm like, who the hell has this wagon?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yep, then after that, me and Joe Lane were inseparable. It's like anywhere I went
Yeah.
for a while, he was with me.
Yeah.
He became,
He's
that's why he's
done-
my right-hand man.
he's done phenomenal things for the club.
Yes.
I couldn't
Very
ask for a
cool.
better person.
Yeah.
These two guys sitting here right now, this is the heart and soul of the club
Yeah.
here.
Nice. So, Joe, tell us about you in the club. What's your affiliation? What are...
I am the Sergeant at Arms. I drive a 1984 Buick Electra Estate Station Wagon, 2-pump 6 battery setup, and like you said, I was out for Harper Cruise. This would be 2 years ago,
Car was fresh out of a field.
and
Really?
nobody had seen the wagon.
Literally, it was on, it was on Marketplace a week before that.
It was on Marketplace up and down. The guy had it listed for $6,000. I heard he had it listed for $1,300. When I saw it, it was at $2,600. I had been looking for a car with juice on it at the time. I had just come back from Louisville, Kentucky, looking at a '64 Chevy Biscayne, but the body on it was garbage.
Yeah.
So when I came back from Louisville, I had moved my search back on Marketplace to Chesterfield,
Okay.
but I hadn't narrowed it down from a 100-mile radius of what I was looking in Louisville. So this wagon popped in Ypsilanti, which wouldn't have happened under normal
Oh, right.
circumstances.
Yeah.
So I basically accidentally found this car, and I called up a buddy of mine. I'm like, hey, you mind riding out to Ypsilanti with me? I'm pretty sure I'm going to need you to drive my truck home.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no problem. So I went out there, picked it up. He followed me home, and I get up to Harper. I got my 3 oldest kids with me at the time, and we live north. We live out in Chesterfield. We were hanging out at 10 in Harper the whole night.
Yeah.
When we left, I was like, we'll make a lap south. We'll just go down to 8 Mile, see what's going on, come back up, and then head home.
Right.
And all these guys were all sitting in Kroger parking lot at 9 in Harper. And when I pulled in, they were all in a group. I kind of pulled right on the Harper side on the wall, hit a couple switches, and all of a sudden the whole parking lot was like, whoop, we're going to
Yep.
go over here and see what's going on.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay.
So I've known of these guys forever. I mean, back in the day, cruising Gratiot back in probably 97, 98, I can remember actually having a meeting with Pugsley about a possible merge of 2 different clubs at the time.
Oh, okay.
And we came out of Dunkin' Donuts that used to be right at just north of 12 in Gratiot. And when we came out, the cops got us for loitering with
Oh.
receipts from sitting in there.
Of course.
So,
Every
yeah,
time.
they used
Shout
to
out
be.
to Roseville Police. I don't have your
Yeah,
station.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I used to cruise Gratiot back in the 80s, and the cops did that back
Yeah.
then.
Well, it's kind of different nowadays. It's
Yeah.
like great different. I don't know.
Really?
I kind of attribute it to all the people that are cops now. Maybe are our age. You know, they grew up watching what was going on
A couple
back
of guys
So they
then.
actually
don't,
went to
they don't
school
bug
with
you
us.
that much
Yeah,
anymore.
no,
I think
it's a
some of the
completely
cops
different
actually
ballgame.
cruised Gratiot with us back
Yeah,
in the day.
correct,
So
yeah.
now it's like,
There's still the one OG of Roseville police officers that still work there when we got busted. You know, Mr. Mark Jackson. Everybody knows him. And he's been there since the '80s. He's been there forever,
Wow.
and
No, it's
he's
totally
still an
different.
officer.
Totally different.
Yeah. Wow.
So, talked with them. Harper, basically 2 years ago, for me personally, that's it. Like, season's basically over at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
North Gratiot goes on the end of September, but not really that big.
It's
like,
not-
Harper's basically the end of
Yeah.
the season. So, put the cars up. I don't think it was probably February. Nick reaches out to me. He's like, I don't know how to do this. Usually people approach us about joining, but
Yeah.
what do you think about joining the club? And I don't know.
Did you say
I
what
was
you think
all-
about it?
Yeah.
It was
Give me
between
some
me and
time.
Nick to message him. We were both going back and forth on it, and I was like, well, I really don't know. I know him. I don't really know him that well, and you talked to him more than I did. And then after we finally sat down and talked, we remembered each other. It was just
Yeah.
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 Very
So
cool.
yeah, the rest is history. Just I'm everywhere, like all the
He
time.
literally is.
It's
Yeah.
always been that way. It's not just I bought this wagon in March of 18, but the lowrider scene had disappeared so bad that
Really?
where the hell is everybody at? Like
Yeah.
I couldn't find anybody forever to hang with or ride with, and
That's how I felt when I was
that
down south.
started it. But I've also got a 69 GTO, I've got a 79 Monty, I've got a 75 Dart Swinger, I've got a 86 LeBaron, I had a Torino that I had at the time when I met them guys. And
Yeah,
I'm
Joe has
forever
50
out
cars.
doing something.
Yeah,
Always, when I've got a car or cars, I'm always out trying to, just hanging out.
Yeah.
I love old cars.
He's putting 100 miles a weekend on his car.
Oh,
Easily.
easily,
I mean-
easily.
So you keep these cars that you have in a big building?
I've got 3 of them in my garage. I've got one of them sideways in front of my bay window in the front of my house.
Nice.
In
One's
his
on a
flower-
trailer.
In the flower bed?
In the flower
Literally in the flower bed.
100%
You're right, you're right.
And then I've got 4 daily drivers that are all. It's all at my house. I
Nice.
got a 26-foot camper out there.
19 kids and counting.
Yeah, I got 9 kids.
Yeah.
The neighbors love me.
Yeah.
I got my birthday present one year was a note from the city to. You need to get the shit off the grass. You need to plate it. You need to insure it. It needs to be running.
Yeah, so he has nothing that he doesn't have insurance on.
Oh, I
Like,
call them
everything
up.
has insurance.
Oh,
It's
nice.
all plated,
Everything's
insured, and
plated.
run.
I call them up. I'm like, I don't know who the hell made this phone call.
Yeah.
But everything runs. Everything plated. Everything's insured.
Right.
Like basically, like sorry about your luck, but
Yeah,
it's
nice
my
try.
property.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I'll get the trailer that I had been doing some work at the time off the grass. I've already moved that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
send one of your goons out, have them write this off, and let's keep
When
it
you're
moving.
doing that.
Right, right. All right, so we're all done. You're good to go. We're going to talk about Pugsley now. So what is your affiliation with the club?
Pugsley, I'm the vice president of the car club. I have a 94 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham, 2 pumps, 4 batteries.
We should have brought that today.
And it's broken.
Sorry to hear that.
Went down to Flex. Well, my daughter was here from Iowa, and we went down to Flex. I was pulling in, and I lifted the back of the car up, and it decided to make a rocket ship out of the rear cylinder
Oh,
of the back
shit.
window.
Wow.
So it's down. I mean,
Check
I
your
drove
gas.
it the weekend after that, no problem. But I just don't have a window in it right now.
Yeah, all right,
And
right.
there's a chance of rain, so I'm not getting my speakers wet.
You just gotta check your caps every once in a while, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't know I was supposed to do that.
We're
First
still
car
learning.
with hydraulics.
I'm still learning.
yeah, yeah.
I've had all my other cars. I've had air ride on them, so that's my first car with hydraulics.
We learn from breaking shit.
Yeah.
So you
Break
guys, when
lots
you
of shit.
when you started into the car scene with the lowriders, have you guys always been into lowriders, or did you have muscle cars before that, or this is where you started out at?
This is where I started. I
Okay.
started with lowriders. I
Okay.
started out with lowrider bicycles
Mhm.
and worked my way up to cars. I mean, my dad has always been into cars. He owns a high performance machine shop. He's been in drag racing.
Yeah.
So he tried to teach me how to do all the engine stuff and stuff like that. But it's like when I was younger, he pounded it into me, and I was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I want to do something different. So I got into the whole custom painting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's what got me into the lowriders and
Oh,
stuff like that.
okay.
Because I mean, I love looking at the paint jobs on these old lowriders and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Each one is an expression. It's like art, and it's
yeah.
each one is
Rolling
an
art.
art piece of its owner. It's
Right, yeah, yes. And Joe, it sounds like you, with your GTO, you have a different array of cars.
I've always been into cars. Used to work in a neighbor's backyard in his garage. Always had stuff going on. Probably 8, 9 years old. Back there wrenching and stuff. Went to school for it, and then came out to be a poker dealer. But the lowrider
Nice.
game, been interested in it since probably about 14.
Wow.
Buying Lowrider magazine, always wanting to go. You guys have shows and stuff going on back then, you know, Freedom Hill or whatever.
Right.
Always interested in lowriders. Never had the money or the knowledge to do anything with it. This wagon, for the price, couldn't pass it up.
Yeah.
I was talking with him. I did a little bit of work on one of the dailies yesterday, and I can't stand new cars, but I've done more work on my own shit in the last, I'll say, year and a half
Yeah.
than I have my whole life combined. and it get your booger
My
finger.
We're working on his car, and the control arm decided to eat my booger finger, and I was
Oh,
screaming
shit.
at him about it. His wife was in the house
Yeah.
dying laughing.
No, I'm the take it to people, give me a price, fix it.
Yeah,
My
right.
back and my legs won't allow me to work on it a whole lot.
No, he don't take it to places. He just says, "Pugsley, come to my house."
Come to
Oh
my
yeah, Greg knows. I talked to him
See,
yesterday
Dad, he comes
morning
over to my
about
house and we spend 13 hours putting
I-
the control
yeah.
on mine.
13 hours on an hour and 15 minutes worth of work.
I was gonna say it didn't take me that long to do it.
Yeah.
When I
But
did
hey, when you're Sleepy Joe, things happen.
Right.
It's some of the best 13 hours I've ever had with
From,
this guy.
from
man.
noon to 1 o'clock in the morning on Memorial Day.
Wait a
Oh
minute.
shit.
That was the best 13 hours. That's not what you said last night.
You cheating on me, you prick
You
bastard.
fucker.
Jeez.
I'll make up for it.
Yeah. So Pugsy, have you been into the lowriders all the
Yeah, I
time?
have. I still have a '94 Dodge Shadow with full air ride suspension. You can still Google air ride Dodge Shadow. It still
Really?
comes up like the first four. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
And I used to work at a custom shop with Contour Rob. His dad had us all working on stuff. We built his full size. I've helped with the Contour a couple times. He had a full Contour with everything fiberglass. A bunch of crazy work done to that. He had a couple cars. And since I was little, it's always go out to Gratiot and see everything.
Yeah.
Riding my bike up and down. And then my mom used to take us when we were little. She had a 70 Olds convertible. She used to take us out on Gratiot when we were little in the car seats and drag race Mustangs
Wow,
and piss them
yeah.
all off with little kids in the back seat.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was mostly into fast cars at first. I had, well, not really fast. Everybody says no, but I had a '99 Dodge Neon with nitrous on it. We did a bunch of street racing on Gratiot.
That wasn't fast?
No. And I had,
No,
I had
Okay.
an '89 Turbo Chrysler minivan with about 400 horsepower to the
I
front
remember that
tires.
one.
Jesus.
And I was always into the four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive Mopars for a long time.
Mhm.
And then I got the Cadillac. God sent a good friend of ours, the OG of Lowrider game. His name's Aaron AA LeMay. He ended up has lupus and something else.
Lupus.
And now he has cancer.
Nice, cancer
But anyways,
too.
he brought it out here and was cruising Woodward with it, and it overheated on him like 4 or 5 times, and we're having problem with it keeping cool. And he ended up cracking the heads and doing a bunch of stuff to it. And he just left it with the keys and said, "Fix it. I'll be back in a couple weeks, and I'll pay you for everything." I said, "Okay, no problem." So I fixed everything. I get it, keeping all the receipts of what I bought and stuff like that. And he walks in and goes, "Here's the keys and title. It's all yours."
Wow.
He goes, "When I come down, I just want you to take me for a ride once in a while and hang out with me or whatever." I was like,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when he gave it to me. And then he said that he was the first person to ever take me for a ride in a lowrider. Like,
Really?
yeah, but I'm talking like 60 miles an hour in a Cadillac DeVille. What was it? Not a DeVille. It was a DeVille. Doing 60 miles an hour down 696, and he threw it up on 3-wheel with me in the passenger seat. I thought my fat ass was going on. And then we're cruising Woodward. He did it to me a couple of times, and
Yeah, it was crazy with that car. I mean,
Yeah,
you take a
he-
wheel off that thing, drive around 50 mile an hour, no front tire.
yeah, we drove around Woodward with 3 wheels on. He had the other one just sitting on the hood on 3-wheel. And every time the cops told him to put it down, he goes, "I can't. I got a flat tire." He
They're
found
like,
a loophole, He's Aaron AA though. He's the reason why I'm into this.
Nice, yeah.
He used to take me to the Rooster Tail with him and Jimmy Show and Go, and
Yep.
the good old days of having the old school hops and
Mhm.
Jimmy walking up with 10 grand in his hand and slamming down the hood of his car and saying, "Anybody can out hop me. Let's do this."
Wow.
And there was not one person that could stand
Yeah,
up to him.
yeah.
It was Jimmy Show and Go is Detroit lowriding in my eyes. He's always been that way.
Yeah, yeah.
I always found that Jimmy from Shongo, he was kind of like my mentor. Like he
Yeah.
taught me how to like do all the wrenching on the cars and stuff like that, and then all the hydraulic maintenance and keep up and stuff like that.
They used to pick on me because I'd do all the shows at first with my car and primer. And Jimmy, every time I pull in, he'd be like, "Paint that piece of shit." Pick on me, him and Double
Yeah.
A.
Paint's overrated,
Yeah.
and it's too
It was
expensive.
easier to keep clean when it was
Yeah,
primer. Now it's painted. I have
Right.
to wash it all the time.
So do you guys think what do you think about the lowrider scene in Michigan? Is it up and coming, or is it, what do you think, is it big, or
It's getting bigger.
it's getting bigger?
It's actually
There's a lot of people that have been in hiding, honestly.
a lot of people
Like,
have been hiding, but there's a lot of new stuff coming out. Like there's been a new interest with like maybe like the newer generation of people
Yeah.
or kids or what I say or whatnot, but I feel it's growing.
Oh,
I
it's big time. I mean, you can even look back to just 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And there wasn't shit going on 5 years ago. Like I said, I bought that wagon in 18, early 18, and you didn't see nobody else out.
You didn't see them on Marketplace either, and if you
No.
did, they were in a garage covered in dust,
Yeah,
and they
right,
needed a
right.
shit
Yeah.
ton of work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's on the rise big time right now. Like compared to what it was just a short time ago and how long it's been dormant. It's been 20, probably close to 25 years.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
is, it's gone all the way down. Now it's definitely on its way back up.
Yeah.
And besides all the old school guys bring stuff out of the garage, there's tons and tons of new builds going on
Yes,
as
there
we
is.
speak right now.
Yeah,
A lot of stuff.
like
in
next
there.
year is going to be a big difference.
Like, I don't know if you want to put his name out there, but I'm gonna do it because he does great work, Matt Gerjic. You
Yeah,
know,
Gerjak.
he is out of his garage, man, and he's constantly just knocking out great stuff, man.
Wow.
He's got like
He knows
gets
his
done with
shit.
one build,
Yeah.
in with another one, done with that one, in with another one. It's like,
Nice.
And he's not afraid to throw everything down. If you're broke down, he will come and help you no matter what.
Always,
Wow, that's
always,
awesome. Man.
always.
Yeah.
Yep. He's saved me a couple times now.
He's the whole, yeah, well, when he bought that, what was that, a Monte that he had a couple of years ago when we first started our cell back up, it was a Monte Carlo, I think it was.
no, it was
Cutlass.
Cutlass.
old, yeah, it was like
It was
a
a-
Yeah,
77,
Full
78.
custom paint, beautiful car.
Nice, yeah,
He was
yeah.
we were coming home from Woodward, and I just split off with him. He was going down 10 Mile, and I was going back up Grossbeck. Drunk driver hit him head on,
Oh shit.
and he was so heartfelt about his car. He was hanging out the windshield trying to hit dude with a ball bat. When I got out there, and
remember
dude
that.
took off in his
Yeah.
van, hit and run, and we searched for him for like 3 days, and Roseville finally found him, but. He didn't get nothing from that. He ended
No.
up. Nope,
Jeez.
he didn't get not a damn penny for
Piece
it.
of shit wouldn't even come out of the house.
No.
Matt, they went to the house and they like,
Yeah.
drag him out of the house, but he wouldn't even come out of the door.
I got a good question here. I think it's good. Now, back in the day, when I was growing up, lowriders, the stigma that they were a bunch of I know you're badasses, but
Thanks.
they were like a gang fighting and everything like that between each other. How was the community in Michigan? You guys like family orientated?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
everybody gets along good. I mean, like with the Hood Rats, you guys get along with them and other clubs.
Even that aspect of it is completely different.
It
Because
is.
back in the day, it was all supposedly guns, drugs,
Yeah.
hoes, bad name,
Right.
Yeah.
whatever.
Gang affiliations,
Right.
whatnot.
Right.
Now,
No, don't knock it. There's still some OG gangsters in car.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
100%. But
There is.
people aren't running around, running amok. What the persona was
Nice
back
tits,
then,
man.
Yeah.
it's not now.
They're not out there bumping each other off over territory like they did back in the days. It ain't like that, man.
I'm not saying that everybody's a bunch of pussies and
Oh, I
they're
know,
a bunch
yeah.
of pushovers,
But you know,
Said puss
we go to car shows like we go to the Hood Rats annual show every year over at the school.
Yeah.
Put on a great show.
Great show.
Another
They
one.
do. You
And
guys
all the
do.
different car clubs show up. Everybody's at you guys,
Yep.
the Taints,
Yep.
and
He said taints.
sorry, tainted. But
The
yeah, everybody
first
shows
flex-
up and everybody gets along.
Yeah.
You know,
and,
it's
Yeah.
just,
and that's what drug me into it
Yeah.
as heavy as it has here in the last couple of summers. Friday Night Flex that
Yes.
was down at the train station. My first flex was last May-ish, somewhere in there, late May, early June. I went down there and I'm kind of eyeballing. I've got my twin daughters with me. They're 16 at the time. And I'm walking around and just kind of scoping, and I counted out there was 14 different clubs there.
really.
And no bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, no bullshit whatsoever. I'm like, damn, that ain't how it used to be.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's, like you said, like, territory fighting. I mean, that still does go on. You
Yeah,
got-
I bet,
there's some
yeah.
East versus West and Hood versus Suburban, and, there's still a little bit of jaw jacking and keyboard warrior going
Right,
on.
right.
But it's just, all the way around, it's completely different. And a lot of it attributed to, we're not 17,
You're
dumb
right,
as
I
hell,
was gonna
young as
say-
hell no more.
No, we're all adults
We're all
now.
grown up, 40s,
Adults.
That's what we were
Yeah.
doing back then.
Yeah.
Like everybody, back in the day that had cars in the 40s or 50s, and
Yeah.
they got older, and that's what they wanted to collect.
Right. Right.
Now we're doing that with lowriders and cars from the 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
90s.
Right.
That's what we had when
Yeah.
we first started driving.
So, do you guys sponsor shows? Do you guys have your own car shows?
We do have our own car show. We do an annual show every year.
Did you do one at the Twisted Rooster?
The Rusty.
Rusty Rooster.
The Rusty
Yeah,
Rooster.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And this will be the announcement. I guess we can make this now, and it hasn't even been put out anywhere. But
Pretty much, yeah.
our show next year is June 23rd of 24.
So
So
mark your calendars. You're
it's
hearing it
out there
first
now,
right here.
bitches. For those of you that want to put shit out on our day.
Right.
Where's that going to be at? Do you know?
Rusty Rooster again.
Same
Oh,
place.
okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it the same place. It's a lot easier that way.
Yeah, where's
It
that- where's
seems
that
like every
place?
time you move the show, you lose followers and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and you gotta kind of rebuild and rebuild.
Right,
So if you keep it in
right.
the same spot every year, everybody knows where it is. It just grows better.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Where's that place at?
It's on what 12 in Hoover.
Yeah, 12.
Oh, I know
Hoover,
the place. Yeah,
It
right
used, to
behind
be
Big
it
Boy.
used to be American Pie Pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's in
Know
that
exactly.
park.
Same owner,
Boy.
and he just changed over to a bar now.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
Yeah.
And let's see. You talked about the Flex. What is the Flex? What do you?
Flex is just an excuse
Just-
for everybody to get together and show off your shit on a Friday
Yeah.
night.
You're
That's why you're
flexing.
saying flexing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're flexing.
But don't go down there and do burnouts and be an
Right.
idiot.
Right,
You
yeah.
go down there and show it off, but you're not down there to.
Yeah, I seen the flyer on Facebook. It
Yeah,
talks
no-
about no
yeah, no
burnouts, no
bullshit.
assholes, and just go out and have a
Right.
good time.
It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little bit
It's
of
kind of
everything.
sad that you even got to put that out there like that. But
Yeah, it is.
It
right.
started off as just basically a lowrider thing.
Yeah.
With the first 12 or 13 of us hanging out down there, and then we opened it up, or Ruben opened it up to a little bit of everything. All
Yeah.
makes and models, and it's growing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And
growing
that was
at a
it.
rapid rate.
But
Was
like
the last
this
one
year,
you guys had, it was like what, over 200 cars.
Yeah.
We,
over
we were
200.
right around 200. The last one was 197 or something.
Yeah.
The one before that, I think there was 160 or 170, and that was within a month period.
Yeah.
One was at 97, and that was a record, and then all of a sudden, in like 3 weeks, it doubled.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, everybody was showing up with everything that you could possibly think of, which is cool, but at the same time, there's so much in one area,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it sets panic
I mean,
to
it's
certain
like-
people
Yeah.
apparently.
when he says everything, I mean like literally everything. There was a guy down there with a 24 something that had a hand crank to start it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Down
Yeah.
to custom 18 wheelers.
yeah. So
Really?
we had
And that's
that.
another thing that did not go on back in the day. The hot rod shows and the lowriders were not.
Yes.
There was no love between the
No,
two.
they would clash all the
Yeah.
time.
And now
The greasers.
yeah,
Yeah.
We'd
and-
always get into it with the guy. We would go to the USMA shows just to make them mad. Basically, them guys kind of supported us, but kind of were like, "Okay, you guys want to come to our show? You go in that back corner
Oh,
and
yeah,
stay
yeah.
away from all
Yeah.
of us."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody's just that good at actors now, but it just seems to be a whole totally different ball game nowadays.
Yeah, everybody supports everybody. I see anybody in a anything custom broke
Yeah.
down or anything, you're stopping to help no matter what. Or
Yep.
It's not like it used to be. Back then, if you were in anything but a lowrider, I wouldn't stop because
Right.
they didn't want you to.
No.
Right. Because they thought you were trouble.
Yeah,
You know. I
Still
don't think
are,
you're
you
trouble.
don't know it.
I'm trouble.
You're trouble.
That's why I have to keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
Don't
You're doing
wait.
good, man.
Don't poke the bear.
It's hibernation time. Don't let
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
My filter has been retired since last year.
A buddy of mine is like that too. He has no filter. It's gonna get him in trouble. I told him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you guys pulled up today in your cars. I was incapacitated at the time. My wife videotaped you guys pulling up. She's yelling at me, "Hurry up, get out here!" I'm
They're
going
here,
as
they're
fast
here.
as I can. But man, your cars look out there with the sun hitting is beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So do you do the paint on your car?
Yes, I did. Actually, I didn't tell you guys what I even owned in the beginning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what else I didn't do? Let's top off the tank. I talked about it and I fucking forgot it. So
Fired up.
yeah, all right. Okay, so go back to
So, anyways, thank you on the compliment on the
Yes.
cars. I have a 1983 Mercury Grand Marquis. It's a 2-door, not a 4-door, so let people know
Yeah.
that off the bat.
Good luck finding a window for that bitch.
Right. If
Yeah.
you do, it's going to be
Just did
expensive.
that.
Yeah, it's going to be expensive. But
Shout out to Mike Gerzak for buying the $900 window.
thank you. It's got 4 pump setup, 6 batteries.
Mhm.
Matt Durjack revived the trunk setup in it, did a beautiful job.
Thank
Uh,
God.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
No, because the
No,
batteries,
not.
it was overdone. It was needed because the batteries
Yeah.
were falling through the floor. Thing. It's been
Literally.
Yeah.
that car is a street car, man. It's a rider. I did the paint job in the garage. I had some help with a couple of the car guys back in the day. You know,
Smoothie.
Ricky Smoothie, aka, and then Brandon Collins. He come out and helped out. And actually, Brandon Collins is the original owner of the vehicle. The car's I'm the 4th owner of the car, and it's been in the club its entire life.
Really?
Yes, the history of the car is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Brandon's grandmother owned it, and it was in Florida. And Brandon and one of his buddies went down to pick it up, brought it back, and then I painted it candy apple red for him. We put a 2-pump hydraulic setup on it for him, and he did all the interior like red, and then he sold it to Joe Davy in the club, and then he had it for a while.
Mhm.
Didn't do it any justice, really.
He didn't do anything with it. He just.
He beat the shit out of
That's
it,
all he did.
basically.
He beat the
Right.
shit out of
He
it.
took it up behind his uncle's garage, took all the hydraulics off it, all the chrome off of it,
Oh shit.
and it was sitting on his belly in the mud for
Wow.
2 years. And finally asked me, like, "Where's that car at?"
Well,
He's like,
Timmy
"Oh."
had it for what, like 3 months too, before they decided to strip it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Timmy had it for a little bit too.
Oh, well.
Tim Davy, his little brother, had it for a little bit.
But
I
it
think it was
ended
from
up
Joe's,
behind
but he
that
just
barn
left it.
though, on the mud, and I said, "Why don't you let me buy it from him?" He's like, "Oh, give me like 3 or 4 grand for it." I'm like, "Hell no."
Yeah.
We settled. I think I settled on like 2,200. I think for the car, so which I probably overpaid for it at the time, but I really wanted the car because I knew the history of it. I brought it back, and
Plus, he had to, he had to re-advise the mothership since the original mothership went out the way it did.
that's a whole different story. And
Yeah.
that story could be another whole show. On
Okay.
That's a,
Right.
that's
All
an
right.
OG gangster story right
All
there.
right. Hell yeah.
Literally, you could make
Yeah.
a movie out of it, and it'd be like
Basically,
crime scene
yeah.
investigators.
Wow.
It's-
Basically, he got carjacked. They stole his car, and they found it burned in Detroit.
Yeah.
In a slow roll.
They came into my house. There's 3 of them. They all have brass knuckles.
Mm.
Their whole point was to take my ass out, kill me,
Wow.
and they almost
Succeeded.
succeeded to doing that.
Yeah.
Didn't
Except-
Jeremy run in the house or something like that? Little
No.
Jeremy from across the street?
No, I actually crawled next door. My aunt and uncle actually lived in the house next door to me. And I actually, on my hand, I crawled next door and passed out on their front porch. They picked me up, put me in their bathtub because I was bleeding out. And my aunt called the cops and the medics and said, "You need to get somebody here now. He's dying in my fucking bathtub."
Wow. Jeez.
It's
Yeah.
it's a long
Story.
story.
Yeah, that'd be
You ever
another
want to do a
good
show
show.
on that one?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
sit down with you.
This
Wow.
podcast is
Wow.
To do like in-depth detail of that one. But,
specified.
but yeah.
One topic to another one.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up
People
with
right here.
the Grand Marquis now is all the restitution money from what I bought that car with and rebuilt it. And I did a lot of the same, like the interior the same as
Right.
my old Monte Carlo that got stolen and burned. So
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That
It still
sounds like a
has the motor
story
in the
there.
deck lid.
it's deep. It's deep.
I'm gonna wait for the movie though.
It still has the motor.
Right, right.
I'd love to see a movie about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The motor and the deck lid are still at his house.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys go
No,
out
the
of
hood.
The hood.
The hood, yeah.
Yeah.
you guys going out of Rama this year or?
Absolutely.
If I get the paperwork filled out, I just
Yeah.
got that today.
Yeah, he's holding up the whole show. We,
Oh,
we
shit.
might not make it because of this guy.
Oh.
Yeah,
Months
right.
later.
Yeah, we're doing it again. We did it 10 cars last year.
Mhm.
It's looking like probably 15-ish this year, which
Yeah.
they haven't been in Autorama a whole lot over the past 20-ish years.
Mhm.
And they're making waves.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. And you were on the news during the Dream Cruise, right?
Yes.
No, I was on the
Actually,
news and I was in Iowa. That's awesome. I wasn't even in the state and I was on the news.
state them on the news. Yeah, me, Joe, and Jay were on the news.
Yep.
I saw that.
What was it 7? Channel 7?
Yeah, Channel
Yeah,
7.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
for
that was-
the
that was
Woodward
pretty cool.
Dream Cruise
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
started filming it.
The blessing.
The Blessing of the Lowriders. They highlighted me for the Blessing of the
Oh
Lowriders.
yeah, yeah.
And they did a lot of the filming there, and a lot of the other clubs and cars and that, and they
Yeah.
kind of just rolled it over to the Woodward Dream Cruise.
Yeah.
And just compiled it. And it was like 7 or 10 minutes of like hardcore,
Yeah, it was-
straight up great film.
It was
Yeah.
like I think 6.5 minutes or so, which there ain't 6.5 minutes of coverage for lowriders in Michigan
Ever.
No.
combined. I mean,
Right.
I don't even think Jay Leno was on there, and he was.
right.
He debuted a car. And he
Right.
did
Oh,
that
yeah.
regular spot.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna go to these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to these cool
Much
guys.
cooler.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, it was a pretty adept little interview. I mean, put the link up on there for you somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I get the phone call, dude, where are you? I was like, I'm in Iowa. He goes, well, how are you on the news? I was like,
Yeah.
let me see this.
I think it got like what 2,500.
That was just on
Like
that
the
was
first
just
3
on
days?
a video that you shared. It was 2,400 or something.
Wow.
Within like
But
3 days.
from what I
Jeez.
understood, that was nationwide coverage.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
That went across. So
Mhm.
the amount of views that actually got, you
Had
can't
no
even
clue.
fathom.
Wow. Jeez.
So
Yeah. We got nothing but positive feedback from it because
Right.
like, everyone's like you did the whole lowrider community
Mhm.
and you did it right. You know how you did it.
Yeah, yeah.
all of the shit that's going on is just snowballing. It's just gaining speed, and it's stuff like this.
Yeah, right.
Stuff like the Dream Cruise, from the Blessing, and we're gonna do Autorama again this year, and we got a whole lot of positive. We got some negative shit from last year, but
Yeah, we took the bridge
Always
now. I
that
think.
one negative
yeah,
Nancy.
yeah.
That one
The
negative
positive
person.
definitely outweighing the negative.
Yeah.
Definitely worth doing it again. Great time. I mean, what you guys are doing in the basement,
Yeah.
I can see us down the line doing that. Maybe an upstairs and a downstairs show.
Yeah, right.
Try to get something show wise around here for the lowriders would be phenomenal.
To go back to what it was like back in the AA and
Yeah,
Yeah, when they had all the
Chicago
lowriders
days and
upstairs.
the hoppers and
yeah.
Upstairs in Autorama when they used to
They
do the
did all
hopping
the-
competitions and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was big, man. It was
Lowrider actually covered it for like 2 to 3 years, and
Yeah.
now it's like
yeah. They brought out Aztec One, which is like Lowrider Magazine's 18-wheeler. They put Lowrider of the Year gets traveled around the U.S. in that rig.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's all custom painted. and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
sweet.
So, and there was another thing that came up. I looked on the internet, the Car and Driver magazine. Whose car was in Car and Driver?
That was mine.
Okay.
The Car and
That was
Driver, I found on the internet, did, I believe, what they called the 10 coolest cars at the Woodward Dream Cruise.
Uh-huh.
And they got a picture of me driving down Woodward. I think we were actually coming back from the interview
Yep.
for the 2-hour special.
Oh, okay.
And that made it in the 10 coolest cars at
Wow,
at
that's
Woodward,
awesome, man.
which
Yeah.
I sometimes I wonder how I'm going to get through doorways with how big these people are trying to make my dome.
Right.
It only gets better, man.
Yeah,
Hell
no,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
cool as hell.
one
I
for
mean,
Joe and one for his ego.
you don't even see wagons around anymore.
No.
You don't.
So I
You
mean,
don't. That's what's cool
to
about
find one juiced, good luck to you. There's
Yeah.
not a whole lot of them out there.
And he's got to
at
have
all.
a wagon because he's got 30 kids.
Right, right. Yeah.
it. He's got his own football team.
Yeah. Gotta look good.
Watch out, Lions! He's coming for
Yeah.
you.
Gotta look cool pulling up to the school, dropping the kids
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get to do it very often,
Yeah.
but yeah, the parents and kids. I love the reactions.
Yeah.
Just everybody. You could be driving at any cruise and
Yeah.
people be standing like this, full conversation, and
You're just-
coming from this
can't
way.
stop
and
and turn
they're
around, walk
pointing
away, and
over,
go right
and
to
all
the
of a
wagon.
sudden,
Yeah.
their attention, they forgot what they were talking about. Their thumbs up.
The
and
parade was
great.
the Roseville Parade was awesome too.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun in that. The
Yeah.
Memorial Day Parade. Was that Memorial Day? Yeah, we did.
It
the Memorial
was
Day
because
Parade.
Yeah,
we
the Memorial
spent
Day parade,
13
yeah.
hours in his garage directly after that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were,
That was the next night.
He
What-
broke-
what next
yeah.
day?
Kind of in his garage.
You-
Half the car was in the garage, half of it was out. And I'm like,
Didn't you
we got to
break
get
it?
this done tonight because you can't close your garage.
you broke
door.
your car there, or your ball joint started making noise.
You burned up a
Oh,
motor.
there was a bunch
And I
of
started my
different
car on fire.
problems.
You smoked that motor.
Yeah.
I opened the trunk lid and everybody's like, "There's flames in your trunk." I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
They'll go out eventually.
Yeah.
Just blow on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on. I didn't ask you guys yet. Joe, what kind of car did you drive in high school? Did you have a car in high school?
I did. My first car that I ever owned was 86 LeBaron converter, or no, it was a 4-door Landau top. The second car that I drove in high school, and the one that had the biggest impact for me, was a 1980 Monte Carlo, 16-inch wire rims, one 18-inch sub in the trunk, mirror tinted windows, big Hard Times Car Club sticker in the back window
Yeah.
because that's who I was with back then. And actually, I used to do a lot of bass competitions in Michigan and Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I blew the motor of the 350 that we put in there. I blew it up on the way home from one. Ended up donating the car, like 2001-ish.
Yeah.
Regretted it. Oh my God, something fierce. Love a G-body. Love the 78 to 80 Monte Carlo. So actually, the end of 2018, I parked all my cars in the garage. At the time, I had a 65 Thunderbird, a 75 Dart Swinger, this LeBaron convertible. I ended up going and buying another one
Yeah.
for my first car replacement, basically. Just wanting to live back to what I had back then.
Yeah.
So I put those three in the garage. I get this call about this 69 GTO I can't pass. So home this comes
Yeah.
after sitting since 1995.
Wow.
That was November 18. January of 19 is when I ended up picking this Monte Carlo up from Detroit. 1979, mirror image to the second car that I ever owned.
Wow.
And we're doing shit with that, but that won't be out ready to go and juiced and painted for another couple of years.
Yeah.
So it just
Don't let him fool you. He's hard up right now for lowriders. He's gonna have to get
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
Give him 6 months to a year after
It-
The
what's
Yeah.
that?
GTO's gonna end up with switches on it.
Yeah.
might be the first one.
You're gonna piss a lot of people
Don't-
off.
that's a lot of stuff that I do. I piss a lot
Yeah.
of people
Right.
off.
Right. Right.
He'll be out with that thing.
That's like
by
my job. Isn't
end
it
of
my
summer
job
next
title?
year.
Yeah, right,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
That's my
Nick,
job.
over to you. What did you have in school? High school.
High school. High school?
They didn't have cars back then.
No, they didn't.
He had a thoroughbred black horse.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I started off my first car.
Yeah. We'll go first car.
My first car was a '66 Volkswagen Beetle, which was in high school.
Yeah.
And then I had a '77 Ford Maverick,
Who we
Wow.
which was
getting all the ladies.
kind of a funny story with that one, because I wrecked that one, but unfortunately I wrecked that one into the back of a lowrider,
Ah.
and I think that's when the lowrider bug bit me.
Yeah, right,
Right then
right.
and there, I'm like,
Well, you
what?
had to fix it after that.
Right.
That's a cool car. Too bad I fucked it up.
77 Maverick. Wow.
But yeah, and then I think after that it was like an '88 Ford Tempo. I think it was a piece of shit.
They all were.
Yeah. The Tempos.
The
Yeah.
Grand Am.
They circled
Yeah.
the
I
tunnel
sold
right
that
on
car
the
for like $200, and like the day after the kid bought it, it caught on fire and burned to the ground. I felt so bad.
Oh, jeez.
But hey, wasn't on
At
my
least it
watch.
was in
So,
his driveway, not
Yes,
yours.
it is.
wasn't on my watch. So what
Yeah,
do I do,
right,
right?
yeah.
And then I had after that I bought my Monte Carlo. Rest in peace. That thing's gone. That was my graduation money. What I got. The Monte Carlos I got from my graduation money, and then I got the one I got now.
No, you
Nice.
had the Grand Am.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about the Grand Am.
The red Grand Am.
Oh, I had that Honda Civic too that Chris Best had, that blue one a long time ago too. I didn't count those though. 'Cause
Yeah.
those are quick buy and sell cars and flip
Right,
and stuff. I had another Regal
So
back
that
there.
Grand Am came out what 20 some years ago. It came out back in the picture. Little Steve had it for a little bit. Remember that?
No, I remember I blew the head gasket on it, and then I traded it for a crotch rocket, and then the kid got it impounded somewhere or something like that, and I have no idea. I heard it was out, and like Warren Mott or something like that, some high school or something, some kid had it. But that was the last time I heard about it, but
Yeah.
that's water under the bridge.
Bugsley, over to you.
I had an '88 Chevy S10. We
Which he
called
still
it.
drives today.
We had.
Oh, did it?
It was called no.
Oh,
It was called the. My uncles used to make fun of me and call it the Bumblebee, but we put a small block in it and did a bunch of stuff to it. And that's where I learned how to work on cars. With my uncles. My
nice.
uncles all build cars and everything for my whole entire life in my grandparents' driveway.
Wow.
And then I had the Neon, which my wife totaled for me. She.
It's always
Thanks,
the neon.
Melissa.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa. That got me out of a car payment.
Nice.
Thanks,
Nice.
Melissa.
Yeah.
It's always the
And then
neon that get
I
wrecked.
got my first I got the Shadow, my first Shadow, the orange one that I cut the roof out of, and then broke that in half. Bought the one I have now at a garage sale for $100 with a blown trans, and I've had that ever since.
Wow.
I've been
Nice.
just working on that. It was
Yeah.
two-tone painted. Then we went to a car show. I got into a dispute with somebody, and they totaled it in the parking lot.
Oh.
Kicked the windshield in, keyed the car, a bunch of stuff
Wow.
while I was sleeping. And then
Jesus.
I claimed it on the insurance. They totaled it. I bought it back for $200.
Did it
Dump-
again.
Dumped the rest of the money, all the rest of the money I got from the car into
Yeah.
that, and that's where it sits now. Now it's satin black with graffiti all over it.
Nice.
We're gonna fix that down. We're gonna fix that.
How much time we got, Peg?
15.
All right.
15 seconds?
No.
Minutes.
Hurry up.
Hours?
No, we're not hurrying. So,
No.
Peggy, my wife, pulled this up on your Facebook page. A quote on your Facebook page that she thought was pretty cool. Lowriding is a passion, a lifestyle, a brotherhood that I'm proud to be a part of. That's on your Facebook page.
Yep.
That's very cool, man.
That's a fact.
Yeah, hell yeah. That is awesome. I like the brotherhood part. you
Yeah.
know. That
Yeah,
is that
it's-
is so cool.
It is.
And with the
And that's-
family, you know.
That's a big part of it, you know. It's especially the family part, especially with
Yeah.
this club. I mean, most clubs are, you know, family oriented, and it's
Yeah.
all about that. But we love the club, but
Mhm.
your family's gonna come first. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
It's always going to, because
yeah,
without your family, you got nothing.
yeah. Right, exactly.
Even getting together, like probably about a month ago, a couple of the guys got together and put a picnic together over in Fraser,
Mhm.
and whoever from whatever club.
I
Yeah,
don't even
Come
think
on.
it wasn't even a club. It was just Terry and I think
Terry and Eddie Weisel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
they're part of other clubs.
Yeah.
Everybody come on out. Everybody eats
Yeah,
together.
Eddie's-
You know,
yeah.
everybody's kids playing together and shit, hanging out.
yeah.
Just phenomenal. To me.
Yes. Very cool, man. So we're gonna move on to.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Wayne.
you
Proud
know,
of you.
you know it was my,
We know Wayne. So we're gonna move on to the what I call the speed round trivia questions.
Oh boy,
These are lowrider questions.
this is where I have brain farts.
So
wake up, Joe.
if you get it right, wrong,
Ooh.
and you guys can all answer at the same time. You can answer the question. It's not, whatever you want to, however you want to do it. Peggy pulled these up. These are kind of old lowrider questions. So,
Well, then Nick's gonna know them all.
Right. He made them.
okay, yeah.
Hold
Okay.
on, let me get my black book out.
Who created the first lowrider adding height adjustable suspension?
Oh,
I can't think of his name, but isn't it the owner of the Gypsy Rose?
no, it was Ron Aguirre.
That's right.
Yeah.
forgot.
HGUI.
His first car was it was actually
Nick went to high school with
Corvette.
him.
It had the first bubble top, the first cell phone I think in it first. It was air ride or hydraulic suspension.
It was
And first
hydraulics.
side pipe.
Hydraulics.
It was hydraulic.
Yeah.
First side pipe
He
car.
had,
There's like a lot of firsts.
he had the hydraulic pump out of a landing gear out of a bomber.
Yeah.
That's where they got their pumps and stuff with out of.
Or the old lift gate.
They were aircraft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
aircraft.
Here's the official answer to that. In 1959, a customizer named Ron, whatever his last name.
Ron Aguirre.
Yeah, developed a way by bypassing the law with the use of hydraulic PESCO pumps and valves that allowed him to change the ride height at a flick of a switch.
Thank you.
They didn't go that fast though.
Yeah.
Right. Not like they are now.
I get $10 for every question
Yes.
you get right behind the scenes.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Shut up.
You're in charge of the buttons.
I fell asleep on that one already.
Okay, next
I need to
one.
know the rest now.
The Gypsy Rose. Oh, I just gave you the answer. What was the name, perhaps, is the most famous lowrider?
The
Gypsy
Gypsy
Rose.
The
Rose.
Gypsy Rose.
Most iconic.
And it's
most
also
iconic
the most duplicated lowrider. There's probably 6 or 7 of them.
Do you guys know this one, though? Why is the Gypsy Rose the most famous lowrider?
because of the paint job.
The iconic paint job.
Okay, she is in the opening sequence of the mid-70s TV show sitcom Chico and the Man. You guys ever see that show?
Yeah, I remember.
It's in the beginning. You can probably pull it up on YouTube.
I guess. That's-
Chico and the Man. After the show's cancellation, the Rose continued to rise in popularity as it toured the world for custom car lowrider shows.
Yeah, he's in the individuals car club.
and now it sits at the Peterson Automotive Museum.
Yeah, all the owners have passed now. so-
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he just passed what, last year or something like that.
Last year, the year before, yeah. You know that the Gypsy Rose is actually double tap that one because he gave us the answer.
Yeah, right.
You're
But
getting
that
good
one-
at this.
I forgot what. Anyways, we'll just move on then.
He gave a guy with 88 buttons. Your guys are screwed.
Yeah, right. I'm surprised Peggy didn't have anything in here about the Cheech and Chong. They had the lowrider.
They have a van.
They had the Impala.
Yeah, they
And
had
the
64
van.
Impala and they had the van.
Yeah.
The greatest thing was how the van was totally stock, and then all of a sudden he gets out and kicks it.
Yes.
Side pipes flip out.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's got
Different wheel
hydraulics.
hubcaps. Yes, yes,
They
yes.
had like some serious high tech back
You
then.
know, we
Yeah.
do know somebody that owned the 64 Impala at one time.
Oh, really?
Don't bring him up.
No, we're not gonna bring him up because
Okay.
it just makes his ego way bigger.
No,
So-
I think he's owned.
Now I wanna know who it was.
anybody. Homer.
Ah.
Oh, sorry.
He owned that?
was that the actual car or was there
The
a
up and smoke car,
recreated
it was
one?
actually that car. Yeah, it was one of the cars.
He doesn't listen very well either.
Yeah.
No.
Just so you know.
What's your name again?
Well, maybe Chris will listen to the show since you mentioned his name.
Quit saying his name. Oh.
He's probably already at the door.
Yeah.
His name. You're like,
Yeah.
you're talking about me?
Is there a garage
Yeah.
sale here I can buy out, guys? I see SWAT cars in the basement. I want to buy them all.
Yeah, right. So I'm gonna, we can announce some shows coming up. I know you guys talked about the one show coming up.
Our
This-
show?
Yeah, your show coming up.
Mhm.
You want to mention that again with the date
It is June 23rd of 2024
at the?
at the Rooster.
At the Rooster,
Tail. Rusty Rooster.
Oh, it'd be
Yeah.
awesome at the Rooster Tail if it was open.
Yeah.
Not Father's Day.
Hey, down,
Not
down
Father's
the road.
Day.
Yeah,
down
we're
the
not
road.
putting up Father's Day again.
No, we're
Yeah,
not stepping
no.
on no hood rights trails this year.
Yeah, thank Mother Nature for that one.
Yeah. And Wayne, come on over here for a second.
Come here, Pumpkin.
Cool, guys.
Come here, guys. I got it.
Can
Come here.
you,
I got a seat for you, Wayne.
He's a good looking guy right here. Look at him.
Wayne.
Look at him.
I'm not good with dates. I always screw dates up.
Yes.
The Friendsgiving. When is that?
Friendsgiving is the 11th.
November 11th.
Yeah, November 11th, Saturday. I think it's a Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right.
What's that?
It's two Saturdays.
Two Saturdays
Saturdays.
before.
Yeah,
Okay.
two. Yeah.
And where is that going to be at?
It's at the FOP Hall, 14 in
Between Hoover and Shaver.
Hoover. Yeah. Yeah, it's FOP Hall.
It's at the Polish Century Club.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
golf
Fred
course right
Parsons
there.
Golf
Yes.
Course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, it's
Yeah,
got a
that's
great
gonna
big,
be
huge Stay
interesting.
Puft Marshmallow Man standing next to it. I
Really?
haven't seen it when I was driving.
Yeah, we're having a
Yep.
they're having a Halloween thing today.
Trunk or treat.
Is that something
No,
that you guys
it's
have
a
always
private
done?
gig.
Friendsgiving.
Friendsgiving. We did
Started
that.
before COVID.
Yeah, just before COVID.
I was gonna say, yeah, you had one
We
before COVID.
we got
then
that together just because as it gets colder. I mean, I see you guys more than my own family in the summertime, right?
Right.
So that's kind of a thing where we don't see each other for a few months.
That was one of the many
You bring
reasons.
them all together, and they have to bring their families. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's how
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to bring my kids.
You know it.
You got like 6 tables for this motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
He's gonna need his own.
yeah. And I deep
He's
fry
gonna
a
eat his
couple
own
turkeys.
buffet. You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
He got
This is
enough
the
food
lane
for his
section.
kids, right?
the lane section.
So I'll deep fry a couple turkeys, and then everybody brings a side.
Yeah.
Mom's bringing her baked beans and mastacholi, and
Oh, nice.
if you don't know how to cook, bring some dinner rolls.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
The
so.
Hawaiian rolls.
What
I'll bring,
time does
I'll
that
bring
start?
the rolls.
Starts at 1 o'clock, Greg.
1 o'clock?
Noon.
Some
Noon.
way off.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We'll be there at 10.
Right.
And you guys are still doing, while you're here, I might as well say something. The Father's Day show, that's
Yeah.
in June.
Next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, next year, but keep it in mind, everybody.
Yeah.
because I went out there this
Save
year for the
the
first
day.
show, me and my boys. That
I've been
was a good
trying to get
time.
out
They
there like
enjoyed it.
every year, and every year
That was-
something happens. Every year.
First time I've been to the island
Get in the car
since
and
I was a
go, man.
kid.
Right.
Well,
They've
no,
done
we had
good
our
things.
show, and the year
they've
before
done good
that,
things
that's
with
when
them,
Paige
so
moved.
thanks for the plug.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Wayne.
Yes, I want to know how many
Speaking
kids
of the
man
plug.
has.
Pardon me?
Or Joe has. I want to know how many kids Joe has.
Joy is
How many kids?
9, right?
9.
9 kids.
Oh,
9.
wow.
Yeah, I've got 4 biological, 4 adopted, and 1 step.
Right on.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yay.
Hence the gray hair.
Yes.
Hence why he's
And
putting
the bunch
hydraulics
that's
on his
missing
short bus
underneath
right
the
now.
hat.
In all respect, I don't think they could have a better father.
There you
No,
go. Amen.
Nice.
no, he does a great job. Them kids are all very respectable. They even cleaned the bathroom at my work after North Gratiot Cruise because they decided to clean the bathroom floor with soap.
Oh,
Hand soap?
yeah.
Trying to make it a skating rink.
Yeah, they were.
We can't do this at home, so we'll
Right,
do it.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, they're great kids and they're very fun to get along. I had all of them in my Cadillac after the parade. I had a whole pile of kids in the backseat of my car after the parade. They go catch up, go over where we were parked because my grandpa's car was broke then too.
Is that a Ford by chance?
Yeah, but
Oh,
it's got a
okay.
Chevy motor.
Hey, so,
It's got a Chevy motor. I don't know why
Yeah.
it's broken.
You take the V6 from a Monte Carlo and put it in it.
No.
Okay.
Okay, Peggy's telling me to wind it up, so we're gonna wind it up, and I appreciate you guys coming out.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Very
you for having
welcome.
us, man. It's been a blast.
And I don't know what the next show coming up. I might take a little bit of a break. I've been working a lot. I'm tired as hell. I know everybody works, but I've been working 7 days, and
nobody wants to hear your problems, Dean.
enough about me.
I remember my first part-time job.
Well, you know,
I can't bitch. I deliver for June.
I'm a crew chief. I get to wear the paper hat. No, I'm kidding.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't either.
7 days a week is too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could do it.
it's just temporary. So yeah,
Right.
I just turned
Too old for second
62.
jobs, too.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, thanks again, guys, for coming out, and this will be up on Spotify next week.
It's been a blast, man.
Yep, and the video will be up on YouTube a couple days after that.
Yeah.
So I'll let you guys know. Thanks again for coming out.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Good job, guys.
Awesome. Golf ball?
Great job, guys.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that's cool as hell.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Not yours.
Are you glad you came?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did
You
good,
didn't
man.
fall asleep one time.
I'm glad
You made it sound like you weren't going to talk at all.
Oh, he talks.
Just what I say, it has to be filtered.